Welcome to our presentation as part of the Federal Project Management Series we're producing on pricing, capital planning, and investment control CPIC services. As your course instructor, I have been doing this for a long time. I'm not a professional instructor. I'm actually a practitioner of this work and have been for over 25 years. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Zen Federal, and I have a variety of affiliations. You may be accessing this content through Fit Sourcing, Udemy, Talent Spring, or another vendor. I have been in this role for over 25 years, 13 as Executive Director of the Federal Capital Planning and Investment Control Forum, and almost all of my postgraduate education is in this area. I studied with National Defense University, obtaining a master's in Chief Information Officer Studies and Information Assurance. My Master's of Science is in Information Management from Syracuse University. And I'm not sure if you can see my little I Love Me wall behind me, but there's my East Carolina University degree as well. Go Pirates. So I have many years writing business cases, reviewing them, becoming a project and then a program and then a portfolio manager. I have reviewed, scored, analyzed, and improved business cases for years. I've prepared congressional testimony for congressional hearings. I've met with Congress people. I've worked directly with Office of Management and Budget, General Accountability Officers, all the C-suite executives over the years. And at one time, I was a co-author of a publication called the Capital Planning and Investment Control Guidebook. So hopefully all of this experience that I have will be concise and consolidated into these topics so we can get smart about those together. You will see this slide at the end of the presentation, but this is my contact information. You can reach me on my website at zenfederal.com. I have a link provided to my LinkedIn profile where you can follow me for more updates as courses and content become available. And there's my personal email with my little headshot at the bottom, j@zenfederal.com. So feel free to reach out to me with your questions and comments. And if you like what you saw today, please give us a favorable review as it helps us to educate others through the recommendation and referral process. Your learning objective for today's course is to learn just a smidge about capital planning and investment control pricing. If you are working for a company that is bidding this work within the federal market, or you are learning how to become a capital planning and investment control professional and you're learning how to price yourself within the market. I will provide knowledge, experience, and recommendations based on my work as a career capital planner. This course does help individuals assess contractor salary ranges, but is really designed for these small companies that are bidding work to bid the work properly so that you don't have the problems that we are seeing in the marketplace. And I'm going to provide you a case study example to help you learn from others' mistakes. Capital planning is basically how IT investments in the government are planned, funded, and executed. It's how we make investment decisions in the government at the project, program, and portfolio level, and how we report those expenditures of dollars like IT dollars up into Congress and the Executive Office of the President of the United States so that they can prepare budgets and budget justifications based on those documents that we create. It helps us make sure that all government investments can align with the needs of our government agencies' missions. So over the years of my tenure as Executive Director of a group called the Federal Capital Planning and Investment Control, or CPIC Forum, we engaged in a 2-year level of effort to gauge salaries among capital planning and portfolio management professionals. In 2015, I had the privilege of presenting the results of that survey with Cindy Ewan, who is the Shivo Consulting portfolio management domain lead who worked on that special interest group with us. And we were up on stage at the CPIC conference. We briefed the results of the 2-year study and the recommendations. And the name of that briefing was Reaching for the Stars, Training the Best and the Brightest. The purpose of that briefing was to present the results of the Governance and Capital Planning Professionals Employment Survey and to talk about a platform and approach that was launched called the C2AI Initiative that was supposed to bridge the gap between the supply and the demand challenges and the salary challenges that were revealed as a result of the survey. So I will talk a little bit about the findings of the results of that, what the industry did for about 5 years thereafter, and make some updates as to where the industry is today. So the purpose of that 2-year survey and research project that was engaged by CPIC Forum back in the 2014-2015 timeframe originated as a 15-question survey to gain a baseline on the current, at that time, CPIC and governance professionals talent pool. It was designed to determine the actual needs, wage gaps, hiring gaps, and trends in the market. And the goal was to use the results to educate employers and bidders of work on the average costs to compensate professionals with and without the appropriate certifications. So despite 2 years of outreach, the survey really only captured less than 60 respondents. Now, in the federal government, there are hundreds of people who do this work, but not a lot of people wanted to really be forthcoming about their compensation packages. Those that we were able to get to respond to our survey, about half were contractors, about half were federal government employees. We broke these down into 3 career levels, commensurate for those of you who are familiar with Federal Acquisition Certification or Defense Authorization Workforce Improvement Act certifications. There are typically 3 levels of expertise for federal governance work. About 20% were considered junior level, which is less than 5 years. About 30% were mid-level, about 5 to 9 years in the industry. And then you had about 53 senior respondents, and those were about 10 years in the industry. In terms of the level of government supported, about 30% were at the agency level, about a quarter were at headquarters department levels, about 23% were investments within a CPIC requirement, and about 15% were at the program or project level with a CPIC requirement. At that time, so this is about 6 years ago, from 2021, at the time that this module is being recorded, about 13% were in the 61 to 95,000 a year range. That excluded benefits. This is just salaries to the recipient. That does not include the leave packages. That does not include benefits. That does not include, paid time off or vacation. We're just looking at the salary component of the compensation package. So 13% were about 95,000 or under. About a third were between 96 and 125,000. Slightly over another third were about 125 to 155,000, and just slightly less than 20% were greater than 155K. But keep in mind how many of the respondents were already mid-level to senior level. So for a mid-level to senior level person, you're looking at a minimum threshold of 125K, and for a senior threshold, you're looking at well over 155K there. Again, in closing, here is my contact information. I thank you so very much for your time today. If you enjoyed this course, please give us a wonderful review or a wonderful rating. If there was something that you need help with, something we missed, or something that you'd like to provide constructive criticism and feedback, feel free to contact me. I would love to fix a problem, then find out secondhand or third hand after someone posts an unhappy review. We are successful when you are successful, and we are dedicated to creating this content to help you on your journey to be more successful in this profession. So hopefully these resources are useful and worthy of a glowing review, and maybe you'll even refer someone else to take our training. Thank you.